Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Reasonably Effective podcast brought to you by myself, Uncommon Fossil, and 10 Types.
Yep. Hello, everyone.
And we're going to talk Surging Sparks today. We've had a couple podcasts. We talked about Pokemon TCG Pocket. Now we're talking about what I'm calling Pokemon TCG Classic, because if you don't, otherwise, when you just say Pokemon TCG, you could be waiting for Pocket. So I'm going to call it Classic from now
But isn't
on.
there like the classic collection? And there you could also talk about like older Pokemon TCG. Like I feel like that just
Well,
adds extra confusion.
Well, it's after Coke Classic, right? Because they came out with Coke and then they rebranded Coke. So this is before your time.
Yeah,
Which then and then people got unhappy, so they called that New Coke and the other old Coke Classic. Then they got rid of New Coke, and now it's just Coke again. And who knows what Pokemon's going to do, right? Over this process.
That's
So
true.
you just want to call it the TCG, right? Or do you have some better idea? Just the
Um,
TCG.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we're talking about like live. I mean, we're not just talking about live, but we're if you're watching it as a video, we're looking at live, and
Yes.
it's got the cards. So where do you want to start with Surging Sparks here?
All right. First, let's just briefly talk about what decks we've seen. Okay. In the decks I've played, I myself have played, and the decks I'm more interested in are the off meta decks. So I will figure out what mix we're doing. So the main
Here,
decks I've
let's
seen,
scroll.
honestly.
Can we scroll through types? I think that's a good way to do it here.
Okay.
You can
Yeah,
sort by
I have to.
expansion.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I have Start Surging Sparks, and there's 161 cards. There's also a lot of ace specs too. We could have a whole
oh, yeah, there
podcast
are.
on the ace specs. I have one ace spec I want to talk about. I think just one.
Uh-huh.
I actually have two ace specs
Oh,
on
wait,
my
this isn't sorting
interesting
by type.
cards
How do I
list.
sort by type? I can just say sort by energy type. Okay. Um,
Is that what you do?
yeah, I was gonna sort by expansion, but then it puts like certain cards at the end because like secret rares or something. So, and anyways, in terms of the grass
Okay.
cards, I've not played with or against any of the grass cards.
Let me take a look. No, I mean the only grass one to me is Durant EX to toss in one or two copies in a mill deck. I've
Yeah,
considered, but I haven't gotten to playing mill. I haven't run into mill, so um, yeah, I don't think there's any of these. Yeah, not much to say about the grass
yeah. There's
Pokemon.
the Wuchen, but we probably won't really talk about that. In terms of fire, I've played Ceruledge EX. I played it a few times. I've not seen it. I've not played against it. Maybe I've played against it like once, but I haven't really seen it much. And it's fun. Yeah, but we'll talk about that.
I think there's a lot of fire Pokemon in main fire Pokemon that I'm interested in. I have run into Ceruledge. That's the one new fire deck I've run into, and it's a fun deck, right? I would say I haven't built it yet. I definitely want to build it for sure.
Have you played any of the fire Pokemon?
I played. Oh, I was talking. The only one I've played is Scent
Sure.
Scorch,
Oh yeah, the Scent Scorch with
which was
Dodrio.
in Dodrio, which is kind of a sideways upgrade, so to speak, from the Steelix. Just it's essentially the same. HP's lower, but it damages you to bench 30, which is good for one energy. But the fire means I'm one shotting the Teal Mask Overpawn EX, which I've done some. So I think that it's a little better.
Yeah, yeah. In terms of water, I've seen what are the water? I think I've seen Milotic EX. I'm not sure. I've seen like walls. I've seen a lot of like pseudo control stuff. I haven't really played with any of these. I think I topped into one game with Milotic EX. I hit. I don't remember what I hit, but whatever it was, I think it was like Archaludon, and they have ways to hit through all your walls, and so I just kind of lost. There wasn't really much I could do there. Um, as far as I was aware, like they could, I had Mimikyu, and I was like, oh, Mimikyu's good, and they had like the regular Duraludons, and then
Yeah.
uh, everything like they hit through the ability walling and obviously Terra walling as well, and they hit through what is the other wall? The basic walling. Yeah, they hit through that pretty easily as well. But yeah, have you seen any of the other water Pokemon?
No, in fact, I don't think I've seen any of the water Pokemon. I mean, maybe there was a copy of something in the deck that I didn't pick up on, but I mean, the Milotic is definitely one that piques my interest. I haven't run into any control style decks at all since the dropping of Surging Sparks. So we've been very different experiences in that regard.
Yeah, I might have seen Black Hero. Like someone could have been playing Black Hero EX, but I haven't really been playing Dragon. I don't think at all. And so yeah,
Right.
I have not seen my opponent play that down as far as I'm aware. In terms of Lightning, though, I'm sure I've seen two of these Lightning Pokemon, or like maybe three technically. But have you seen the same two as well?
Yeah, I mean, there's Pikachu EX, which is the free deck, right? That everyone's gotten as well. Actually, and I did play one game of the Pikachu deck. Honestly, the free deck. I just without looking at the deck. I just played it,
Yeah,
and
what's in that?
it
I
went.
haven't looked at it.
I went about. I don't remember, which is the deck didn't set up for me, but I wasn't prepared to play it well either, and I just dropped it. I forget how it's supposed to work. Plus, it's what you still they redid the battle pass, but they give you upgrade cards as you move up the tiers. So I'm not sure how good the tier zero, or it's not a tier zero now. It's before it's you just get it.
Okay.
You want me to look at that
No, it's
or
fine.
no?
I'm not
So
seeing Magneton as well.
right, and I've seen that a little. I think I've only seen like two Pikachu decks though. One of them, which was like a Miraidon deck, which then had the Magneton, and another was a true Pikachu deck, with the cards to make that happen.
Wait, with
But
with
I've
what?
mostly
Oh, I
the
think I
what
saw Blissey EX Pikachu.
Glass Trumpet, yeah, Blissey, Crispin. I think I don't remember what else.
And I've heard a lot of talk about the Reggie's Pikachu EX deck. That like kind of seems interesting. It seems pretty bad, but it seems kind of interesting as well.
With the okay with the Reggies in it.
Yeah, to
Oh,
power.
the full Reggies with because it is a Terra Pokemon, so you can expand your bench. Yeah, actually, that's I played the Reggies when the Terra Stadium dropped. I mean, this would probably be an upgrade to that deck, I would
Yeah,
suspect.
I mean that
Probably,
deck was pretty bad.
yeah, I played it a few times. This was part of the time I couldn't come up with new videos because all my decks really stunk, and that was probably kind of, you know, that was amongst that set of decks that it just struggled for me.
Yeah, I played against the Togekiss from Psychic, and that was not fun. I think I don't like this card. I think it's annoying and badly designed. I mean, we've been playing Pocket. There are a lot of coin flips in Pocket, and they're kind of not fun.
Wait,
They can
the
occasionally be kind of funny, but taking extra prizes randomly is not super fun. So yeah, that was awkward. Yeah,
Yeah, it's not on my short list of cards to play. What's it evolved from? Oh, there it is. I was trying to look at. Okay, it's the first one. Oh yeah. Oh, it's right. It's not alphabetical with the way I'm looking at it here. So yeah, the Togekiss. I haven't run into Latias EX,
you
which you
haven't.
thought was going to
I
be
saw it with.
the
I saw it.
biggest card in the set, and I
I
haven't run
mean,
into it once.
in the Miraidon deck, did they not play Latias CX? Like when I was playing
No,
against
I don't
Miraidon, I played
know.
against it a few times and they
I did.
chucked
I
it
don't think
down.
they didn't play it anyway, so there wasn't a reason to play it.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I was playing. I was either playing Arctina or my spread deck. I forget which one it
Yeah.
was.
Latias CX is definitely like I've seen it a few times. It's a solid card. I haven't played it, but it seems pretty good. And then I've seen, I don't know, I played with the Lake Trio as well, the AMU deck, and well, you said you didn't play with Mesprit. Um,
Right. The
Ultimately, Mesprit's kind
Uxie.
of mediocre in the deck.
Yeah, I don't think that's. Yeah, I mean, I'm playing with the Uxie or Uxie and the Azelf, and I don't have in it, but I think the stage one could be good as well. Which is
Oh,
the Kofagrigus.
yeah.
So yeah, so I played with that, but I haven't run into anyone else playing that.
Yeah, I want to play with the Meowstic to Gust. I haven't seen it. I don't know. I don't know exactly what to use it in. It seems good to me. I think it seems pretty good, but I haven't played it yet. I also want to play the Dedenne, I guess, for control, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a bunch of cards that could go in a Snorlax deck or a control deck. Snorlax is the easier entry point. And I think Meowstic maybe with Chill Teaser toy card is an interesting option. It's a lot of deck space though. It's stage one, plus you're going to want four Chill Teaser toys in the deck. So, um, but it definitely causes disruption to your opponent.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen any of the fighting Pokemon, which is kind of surprising. There's some pretty good ones here. Maybe I have. I mean, yeah, I don't think I've seen any of these played yet, but there's some good ones that I do want to try out as well.
Yeah, I have a few. No, I don't. Yeah, there's a couple fighting ones that are interesting, but no, I haven't seen any of these. I don't believe in any decks I've run into.
Yeah.
Um, for Darkness, I've run into Hydreigon once, and that's definitely one I'm looking forward to trying out myself. But I did come into that, the one that does 200 damage and mills 3. I don't
Yeah.
think they used the second attack in the deck. I'm trying to remember how it was very early on, so I'm trying to remember how the deck was built, and I can't quite remember.
Yeah, I've seen a decent amount of Hydreigon EX, and I played Hydreigon EX as well. I think it's a pretty good. I don't think it's that good. I think it's like pretty okay, and I don't know. I've just been seeing it a lot, and I played it some, but we'll talk about it. I think
Okay.
I think it's like mediocre. It's more or less what I was expecting it to be, but we'll see as time goes on. And then I've seen a lot of Archaludon EX. That's the main new deck I've seen in the ladder. I played it as well. I played it a few times. I played against it a decent amount, and it's pretty solid. Like with Dialga V-Star, it's good, but it's not like you are always relying on Dialga V-Star either.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't run into it at all. I'm calling it Archaludon just because it's building theme, so Arch is a building thing. But I don't know how you're supposed to say it. Um, I definitely want to try it out both in Dialga and as its own deck too, because 300 it's nice and tanky. It's a stage one. It can power itself up right with its ability. So that's pretty appealing as well, I think. So, but it's always have you seen it in Dialga only
No, no, I've seen it mostly not in Dialga.
as its own deck? Okay.
Yeah, and but
Okay.
you haven't seen it at all, right?
No, no.
I don't think I've seen the Alolan Executor EX. I'm not sure. Like I played against some Regidraco. I think all the games ended quickly. Either they lost quickly or I lost quickly. But ultimately, I don't really think I've seen it. Like it seems kind of mediocre. But and then I've seen
Yeah.
Tatsugiri EX. I did in fact lose to that deck, and I was playing like spread, and I think I'd like completely bricked, and then turn three because they manually attached 3 times, and then they attacked and they hit 5 Pokemon. They hit like Togekiss, Dusknoir, Pidgeot, like Hydreigon, and something like that, and it was like. And then I think they like I don't know, it was just such a weird game. It was such a bad game all around.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't set up, and I mean, Tatsugiri EX is a very, it's a very, very silly Pokemon. So, yeah. I mean, I know at some point I have to give it a try, but it's not right now. It's not like high on my list of what's to try. I got other things first, I would say. But yeah, I haven't really seen any of the Dragon Pokemon. I don't think at all.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of their colorless ones either. Yeah, I don't think I've seen any of these. There's some kind of interesting ones, but they're kind of mediocre as well in terms of interest value.
Yeah, and well, and two of the EXs are not good, right? The Cyclizar and the Flamigo, right?
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean the Slacking X isn't that good either.
no, because it's ability, right? Your opponent has the ability to make it so you can't attack with it.
Yeah. And then what are the trainers? Oh, there's a special energy. There's rich energy. Oh, apparently there's jet energy in the set as well. And
Oh,
so
yeah, I did.
or
I think the
enriching
first
energy.
game I played, my opponent played enriching energy, I think, in their deck, whatever the deck was. I don't remember.
And was it good for them?
I mean, they drew cards, right? So I guess.
Oh, I mean it's
I
your ace spec though. Like there are lots of cards that draw cards.
Yeah, no, I agree. Look, there's a lot of ace specs in this set as well. Most of them aren't ace specs that are going to see a lot of play, and I don't think I would play enriching energy, but I think I bricked that game and lost, so they won. So
Hmm.
if that's then it worked.
Yeah. What about the other trainer? I played with in Ceruledge EX. I played Brilliant Blender, and then in
Okay.
Archaludon EX, I played Scramble Switch, and then
Uh,
in the Hydreigon EX, I played some counter again. I played it in the spread deck, although I think it's kind of bad, so I might drop it. And I think that's about it for the trainers I played. But I guess I didn't play Terra Orb because I don't own any copies of it. Also, I guess like I did play Gravity Mountain, but I haven't really used it.
yeah, for ones I've seen, I think one person played was the trolley, the precious trolley, which lets you look for a whole bunch of basic Pokemon, empty your deck. Well, you can fill your bench with them, so
Yeah,
they don't go to hand.
yeah, I think I might have
So
seen someone play that. I might be remembering wrong, but I think they might not have gotten anything with it. They like
and
just failed.
that's about it. Actually, I think I like the counter gain idea for the spread deck. I have a couple of the ace specs and some of the trainers I have interest in myself, but I haven't really seen them. I do think I saw the secret rare Night Stretcher, which was in this set.
Oh
So
yeah, I think that's the default on Limitless now.
uh, oh, because yeah, Limitless defaults to whatever the newest
It
art
doesn't
is, I
always
think.
do that. Maybe it does, but like it seems like normally it's regular arts. So, but at the time of recording, or maybe a little before, that is the default art on Limitless, which is kind of annoying.
Okay. I mean, I definitely want to talk about some of these trainers.
Yeah, the Secret Rare
But
Night Stretcher.
I think Megaton Blower is very interesting. I gotta say,
I
I haven't played.
don't know. Anyway, so what do you want to start now that we've talked out? Now that we're a bit more on the same
Rambled.
page on what we've seen. Um,
All right. Look, why don't we? I'll talk very briefly about the spread deck. How about that? You don't
Briefly,
want to talk about that. You what or do you want to talk about the main decks or
well, I
like the
think the
spread deck?
spread deck, I've played like 4 decks, and the spread deck is one of them. I think it's
Okay.
a really fun deck. Well, because I think we should save the spread deck for a little bit later. I think we should talk
Okay.
about Archaludon EX and Ceruledge EX first,
Okay.
and maybe Hydreigon as well. So where do you want to start? Let's start with uh with Ceruledge EX and um
Okay.
this deck. So I just played it. So you played against it, you said?
Yeah. I played against it. And I was playing Arctina. That's what I played first. I just went with an old deck that I've been playing, and 280 HP Pokemon. And by turn, they were wiping out my 280 Pokemon. I think by like turn two, it
Yeah,
was
especially
not good.
with the ace spec, you can do it really quickly. It's really strong. Like I find myself like there was a game I almost lost because I almost discarded all the energy in my deck like turn 3, and then wouldn't be able to attack. You really get the energy in there fast. I don't know. You can play it like there's one pretty major like there's a theoretically an issue with like you're playing my list plays 90 energy. This is a list I just copied from online somewhere, but that's
Okay.
obviously a lot of energy. But I
Yes.
haven't found too many issues with like consistency, unlike what you might expect.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely am looking forward to that. Look, I like fire decks in general, and this is a very fun kind of meme type deck. It's one of those perfect decks with potentially, well, if you play enough Pokemon, right, it could be like a 20 energy deck, which you could have the perfect 20-20-20 split, right, between Pokemon
Yeah.
trainers energies.
Yeah, I don't think.
Which
I mean, it's like not like in terms of power though. It's not a mean deck. It's a pretty good deck, right?
it is, and it's a stage one, and it's only one energy, so that's great. And 230 HP, not bad at all. So you're playing the what, Brilliant Blender then? That the ace spec you're talking about for it?
Yeah, I ultimately don't know if it's the best one. Like, it's very good because it adds a lot of damage. I was talking to someone about it, and I was like, I think like maybe you don't want it because, like, obviously it adds a lot of value like directly. It just like theoretically 100
Right.
more damage for the rest of the game, but also it like doesn't help you get set up and do like normal deck things, and you can struggle with that because like how are you gonna do that? When you have 90 energies, I feel like the deck slot of maybe honestly like Secret Box. I don't know if Secret Box really has that much value in terms of specifically getting the tools in the supporter or this tool in the stadium, but also I think
Right.
it's pretty. What was I gonna say? It's pretty like it discards stuff and it like helps you out. Something like Prime Catcher, Unfair Stamp, just the normal good ace specs could be good,
Right.
and you're able to get energy in the discard pretty decently anyways.
Now, let me ask you, what is the engine you're playing with the deck?
There's not that much of an engine in this list. Radiant Greninja is very good. This one doesn't play a
Right.
Chatot, which is kind of weird, but it plays also Squawkabill EX, Pheasant Dipsy EX, a 1/1
Right.
Noctowl, and a Fan Rotom. And then a bunch of like supporters. Though not like how many supporters does it play? It plays a decent
Okay.
chunk, but not like an absurd. No, it plays like 6 straw supporters.
Okay. I mean, you could try like a curly engine, but that might be too slow.
Yeah, currently
But
it's not that fast.
but having some engine as the game goes on is good, right? It's always a little dicey, right?
I mean, but you're only once you're going, you don't need anything except for the energy in the Pokemon. So I think you
Right.
don't need that strong of an engine. You do like, and you don't need Gust that desperately because you can knock out most things. So
Yeah. So look, yeah, I mean, it can ramp up the damage, I think, pretty well. And are you playing Pokestop in it or no?
yeah, it plays Pokemon, just 2 of it. So that's like part of the engine as well, I guess. But you don't play
Right.
like a ton of items, so you're not consistently relying on it to get what you need. It's not like you're barely playing any Pokemon either. So most of the cards in your deck are not going to being able to be gotten off a Pokestop. But like hitting
Oh,
the Brilliant Blender earlier is like really good.
yeah, because depending like what you're playing, if you had an engine, the A spec that searches for 3 stage 1s, I don't
Oh,
know if
that
that could
is
have value.
true. Yeah, that could be good, I guess. Like you could get your Noctowl or your Curlia, and you could get of course your Ceruledge GX,
Yeah. Yeah, the one deck I played. Oh yeah, that's the A spec I put in my one deck as well. I
which
forgot
Brilliant
about that.
Blender.
Brilliant Blender, yeah.
What was
That the
the
search for 3. That's my Dodrio with the Scorch deck.
Oh, you mean Hyper
No,
Aroma,
not
not
Brilliant Blender, Hyper
Hyper.
Aroma. Yeah, sorry, the old one. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
that
Talking
makes sense.
past
Okay.
you there.
Yeah, yeah. So I think like Ceruledge, you could put other stuff in as well. I've never been a big fan of Goldengo Palkia. You could do the same thing with Ceruledge EX, I think, and you could do some different things, but it's a
Well,
pretty, it's like straightforward and strong.
and it look, it evolves from Charcadet, right? So it does open up Armor Rouge. There's the new Armor Rouge. There's the old Armor Rouge as well that it moves energy, and there's the Armor Rouge that Armor Rouge EX, right? So you could try some of those things in the deck
Yeah,
as
I think
well.
more so it would be the other way around, where it's a like Ceruledge EX would be a tech within those decks, because Ceruledge EX has like a very specific play style to get the most value out of it. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
that specific of a playstyle, but I feel like the Arm Rouge deck has a certain playstyle where it's like, oh, I need to get lots of energy in play versus this is like get lots of energy in the discard, and you're looking for just really fast things versus Arm Rouge GX. You're looking at or Arm Rouge and Arm Rouge GX as well. You're looking at a bit of a slower game. It's not that much slower, but it's not pure speed, where you're not caring that much about getting energy in play either.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. And with the Ceruledge deck, you need so much energy, you don't have much space for things.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could get the energy onto like onto the new Armor Rouge, having that option would be
What is it? A
nice.
180 snipe?
180 to yeah to only benched only, but
Okay.
what that's it's a nice number that can win you games if if you could obviously have one deck space for the card. I guess the question is, can you get three energy onto it,
Yeah,
which
and
you
I,
might
I
not
feel like
be
the
able
answer is
to.
probably no. I mean, you could with like Mega Basin, but you're not playing Mega Basin, so
Right. And yeah, unless it's sitting on your bench for 3 turns and you don't have to power up anything else. So yeah, I guess that's not an option there. So so Sarah Ledge, you played it, you like it. I played against it. As an opponent, I didn't like it, but
because
it
it's
worked
good.
for it. Yeah, it rolled me over,
How
which
good do
makes
you
it
think it
appeal
is? Like right now, yeah, I'll put you on the spot. What's your ranking of the decks right now? Like of every deck, what's your top 10?
of the top 10 decks of the new deck.
No, of all the
Wow.
decks. Like
Of all the decks,
yeah,
I
just a
haven't really
general tier list. Like I think I'd say Charizard EX and Dragapult EX and like Regidrago V Star is still like really good, and I guess Raging Bull EX. Like where I guess just where do you think
yeah,
Ceruledge EX? Do you think Ceruledge EX is top
like
10?
a tier. I haven't and I've doing he's mentioned Reggie Drago. I mean Dragapult. No, Reggie Drago. I haven't seen that in forever, which
Oh
is
wow,
kind of
yeah, I've
weird.
been
But
seeing it a decent chunk.
so Sarah Ledge, like just in tiers, it's not an S tier deck. If we go with that, it could be an A tier. It's low A, high B, probably.
Yeah, that's around where I'd say it is. Like it's pretty solid. Definitely not a bad card, but not a. I don't think it's gonna be like a. I don't think it's as good as Charizard EX, but I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I
It's
mean when
definitely
you
like
have,
it's better than Goldengo in my opinion.
oh, I love Goldego, but
But you don't do you play Goldengo that much?
I was playing it for a while. I was playing Goldengo without Palkia, and it was winning. It was winning a good amount actually, more than it should have. I was winning more than half the time, which is more than it should win,
Uh-huh.
especially without Palkia, I would say. But the downside to Sarah Ledge is you need so much energy, you're gonna be prone to bricking. I just have to assume, right? When you're 1/3 energy, you're gonna be a little less consistent.
Yeah. I haven't really seen the inconsistencies for the deck yet, I don't think. I'm not sure though. It definitely had. It's not a perfect deck by any means. But then Archaludon EX, I think, is the logical next one. I think those are the
Hmm.
top two main decks. And Archaludon EX, you have. I played it with Dialga V Star. You use Archaludon EX to accelerate to itself or to Dialga V Star. You can also scramble switch, which moves the energies off of the Archaludon to the Dialga, to power that
Yep.
up, kind of to surprise your opponent. I guess it's okay. I don't know if it's that good, but it's okay. Then there's also you have like the Relicanth thing with the Duraludon, but it's also a pretty good deck. You haven't played against it, did you say?
No, I haven't seen it at all. I don't think. Look, in the Archaludon is 300 HP, so it's tankier than your Dialga V Star, which could have value. And you don't. The nice thing with the EX is since they evolve from single prizes, you don't have that two prize liability. That's that softish kind of low 200s, right? So you avoid that with this,
Yeah.
um, which is good. And obviously, it's very good for getting energy onto Dialga. So it's probably better than Matang, right? Because Matang, you're not hitting two energies consistently off that. is my guess.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been a fan of Matang. I've always found that kind of annoying and bad.
Right. I mean, Matang's another deck, then you kind of need to overload with energies to make it work. Matang's every turn, right? The Archaludon is only when you play it. But it is a very good attack. 220 is for stage one, but it's the opposite of the other stage of like Ceruledge. This is three energy. That Ceruledge is one energy, so that makes it flow very differently. So
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's not that different though. It depends exactly how you're using it. But if you're just using it to attack with Archaludon, it feels pretty similar, I guess. I mean, you're not loading your discard pile with energies, but you're
right.
still trying to get some of the discard, and then you just attach one per turn, one from hand, and that's okay. That powers it up.
Yeah, and I assume you play Radiant Greninja with the deck
Yeah.
because you need this energies in the
Yeah,
discard.
I've definitely had issues getting just energies in general with this. How many? This is another deck that I think I net decked, and it plays 9 energies, which just felt like a little low. So might change that at some point.
Okay, because you're just not getting enough energies in the discard pile
Yeah, and
fast
then
enough.
sometimes I run out because like your Archaludon EXs, if you're attacking with three of them, that's 9, and then there is some recovery. But then on top of that, what if you're
Yeah.
attacking with Dialga V Star plus two Archaludon EXs? You can't do that, or like multiple Dialgas or something. So there are definitely times when you'll run out of energies, and it's interesting because Archaludon EX is both the attacker and the support Pokemon, and it
Yeah.
like changes depending on the game.
Right, because you've played it with Dialga, right? You haven't played it with just the
Yeah,
Archaludon.
Archaludon. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think Dialga's really good in the deck. This is by far, in my opinion, the best way to power it up. Like Metang, I've always found like super inconsistent. Sometimes it works, but you also are looking to get a bunch of Metangs and then get a little bit lucky, and you're also kind of like vulnerable to stuff. So this has felt better. But then you have this like Archaludon like sitting on your bench with lots of energy or with no energy, and so then instead you need to get another Archaludon EX to power up that Archaludon EX.
And did you say you play Scramble Switch in the deck or no?
Yeah, Scramble Switch is like kind of funny. It's kind of mediocre, but it's funny.
I mean, it lets you power it up, right? If
Yeah, it
assuming,
allows you to what, the Dialga.
yeah, or if your Dialga's gotten damaged enough and you want to switch back to the to the Archaludon, it gives you some flexibility.
Yeah.
But it doesn't help you set up. So those are the trade-offs there. So okay, so it seems to me that I would put the Archaludon below Ceruledge a little bit.
Yeah, I
Is
think it like you don't have the one-shotting potential really. You do have the potential to go ahead and take the extra turn and potentially do that early on to really destroy your opponent. But I don't think that's
right.
something that's like super consistent. And you do have higher HP. Like they're different. They're
Yeah.
pretty different feeling, but I mean, they're not the most different feeling. Like compared to like the stage two decks and stuff, they're much more similar than that. But I don't know. I think it's a solid deck. I think they're in pretty similar tiers.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's definitely something I want to get to, and it definitely seems it's going to be solid. And obviously having a lot of options is good. I think there's a number of reasonable choices of decks with this set. That's my sense
Yeah.
at this
Then I
point.
played. Have you played with Hydreigon EX? I feel like that's the third one.
I haven't. I've run into it a little bit, but I haven't played it myself. I'm definitely it's high on my list, right? I think I put that as number one from this set when we did a ranking list a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty good. I definitely underrated. I thought it was kind of bad. I mean, I don't think it's super special either. So far, when I played against it, I felt like it just kind of like a Charizard EX or Dragapult EX deck, but with less upside and more downside. Um, I mean, I think Dragapult EX has higher upside than Charizard EX, but then higher downside. So, I don't know if it has higher downside than Dragapult, but it still has like inconsistencies. A lot of people are trying to use the second attack, and ultimately, like I copied a list and I played against lists, and it's like it's another Dusknoir Pidgeot deck,
Right.
but it also can struggle to set up. But you have like lots of different options as well. It's a weird deck.
Yeah, I mean the second attack you need the three different energy types plus some other, and a fourth energy of some type. I think I did get hit by the second attack, and I think about it because 130 to your active and two bench, so that's pretty rough, but it's not easy to set up.
Yeah, I
Um,
think you
Go
can
ahead.
set like you have Dark Patch and you have
Yeah.
I think you're really relying on New York energy, and then you have counter gain as well.
Yeah, and I wonder if my opponent played Zatu in their deck, because that does get a psychic energy into play
That
if you
seems
have it
kind
and
of
give you.
weird.
Well, it is. You're reaching with that. I'm trying to think what they did, or yeah, I don't remember. They probably played Crispin
Yeah,
because that
Crispin's
helps.
good. If you the list I have, I think, and that I've seen, just play Darkness Energy. So then you can't. Well, it plays New Up Energy and Darkness Energy, so you can't use Crispin there. But Crispin does seem
Okay.
like pretty good in the deck as well.
Yeah, but the idea of basically darkness energy, and you had the neo upper, so you can use the other attack like once, or you're pretty tanky, so you might even get to use it more than once. But just I think relying on the first attack seems to make it is going to make it a lot more consistent. So I think that's the way I'd go with it. And then are you putting enough pressure on is the question, right? 200 is not quite what you want to do, but milling three is not a bad number, is what I'd say. Because four is kind of the standard number, but my experience is it's not quite enough, right? You really want to mill 5 or 6 to actually win with mill, but 200 damage is way more than any other mill deck's done. So I think it's an interesting place but it's a stage 2.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
feel
big
like the
downside
mill
to it.
like doesn't come into effect too often. Most of it's just there as something that, I don't know, maybe you can get lucky and remove one of your opponent's crucial resources, but obviously that's not like something you can rely on. I felt like the mill when I played against it didn't really matter, but it does kind of apply some pressure on your opponent in certain ways, which they do need to be wary of.
I'm wondering as I'm thinking, because what it wants to do then is to heal, and then the mill starts to matter. Because at 330 HP, if you're not getting one shot necessarily, so healing up would be good. Probably expanded deck, right? With we can heal up all the damage with what Cheryl,
Well, but
and then
no,
you can
you have Dashbun EX. You'll just do that
okay
in standard, right? Which is
the
like
dot.
Cheryl. It's like Cheryl on play,
Oh, that's an
essentially.
ability, right? Is it an
Yeah,
on play ability?
yeah. Or
Okay.
you could play it with
What stage is that, by the way?
it's a stage one, or you could play it with Quad Crystal or something. I don't remember if that's the name of it. The one that you play all four of them. That
Yeah.
is not
Well,
good. But you said you need
no.
healing, and that's heals all damage from all your Pokemon on an item. You can play four
Yeah.
of it.
Well, see, but the
Probably
idea is
should play four of it.
if you could heal, which I don't think there's good healing in standard, but that's when the milling's going to matter, right? Because then your
Mhm.
opponent's forced to kind of slow down a little bit if they know that's going to be like an 8 to 10 turn game. Your opponent then can't dig through the deck too aggressively because then they will run into trouble.
Yeah.
But the game's not there, so I think look, this is not tier list. It's definitely lower than the other two decks, I think. Um,
Yeah.
I'll, it might this is more might be more fun though. Okay, I think that's why you're
Yeah.
seeing it a lot. It's just you look through the cards, and you're like, that card's crazy. I gotta try it. That's what the card does. And usually cards like that then aren't the best cards because it wouldn't be good if the crazy card's the best card too.
Yeah. But I think there's. Do you have another deck? Oh, should we talk about Pikachu EX? I like. How did you play against Pikachu EX? You said with like Blissey and stuff.
One was a
Well, the one was a
yeah,
Rhydon,
one was a
which
Maridon
wasn't
with it
a
in.
Pikachu EX deck. It was just a deck that played it as like a
Yeah,
tech
they
option.
could and it played the Magneton, so therefore they
Well, but
could
did they
attack.
play any other energy? Did they play
Did they
non-lightning
play it?
energy? I feel like that would be
Now
like weird because then you lose value on electric generator by like a bunch.
they didn't play generator, so
They
I think they
didn't?
dropped
Oh,
generate. See, I think that's because with Magneton you can drop the generator.
I
I think
guess.
that
But
was the
you like
idea.
you can't magneton. You want to just magneton once, right? Um,
Yeah, they didn't. I think it was. And I think with Crispin and whatever else, I think
oh,
they.
they played Crispin?
I think they did.
Oh,
I
okay.
think it was. I think it
Peak.
was yeah, it was like a Maridon Pikachu with the option of going Lightning or Pikachu. Because like, they
Okay.
had like a Raikou and a Raichu, but then I think because I was playing, I think Arctina, and then they got Pikachu set up and just was like smack, 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 game over.
You lost.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean smack, smack, smack? Did they like keep
Well,
popping magnetons?
maybe this was a different deck then. Maybe I'm getting my games confused. So, yeah, I saw it in Magneton, but also I saw it in its own build.
Yeah. Do you think
I saw a
Pikachu
Pikachu
EX
deck.
like as an attacker as the main? I played it in Lost Zone and it was like okay. I don't know. It's kind of sketchy, but um, I mean Lost Zone has its issues, right? But I think do you think
Yeah.
Pikachu EX is a good attacker? I think it's not a very good attacker.
Well, look, if you could power it up, it's amazing,
Well, that's true of like
right?
almost every stellar.
Uh, I guess. Look,
I mean, yeah, it's
this
a
is
basic.
beyond amazing if you could power it up, right?
Well, it's literally amazing. It's because
It's
it's like the amazing rares.
yeah. Look, obviously they kept the HP on a little low. With 300 HP damage is great,
Yeah.
and the fact that you have to do some work to one shot it makes up. You'd rather have that 200 HP with the ability than like 280 HP on a basic, right?
Uh,
I
yeah,
think you're going to get one shot less this way probably.
yeah,
So it's tough to power up, obviously. I think I don't know that you can solve the way to power it up consistently. Is what you know.
yeah.
Like it was with Blissey and Glass Trumpet. I saw. Um, so I forget what else they played. Right? It's gonna. But once you're playing the Blissey, that's an evolution. So that means you're not a. I guess you need to go first, get your right Pokemon and play, and then hopefully your attack in turn two. But if that's your strategy, you're going to fail. I think too often to be good.
Yeah. And then, yeah, I think Pikachu EX is like okay, but it's not super great. And then I think what else have you played? You played the spread. No, not the. Oh, you did play the spread deck, but you
I did
played
spread.
the
I,
Scorch deck. Is
do
there much to say about the Scorch deck? I feel like that's like
It's a Dodrio deck. Dodrio, which does 10 plus 30 per damage counter on it, as a stage one. Single prize, so you can get up to 280 on it. Scorch. I mean, Scorch is here to go with the other Fire EX, right? That's why it's in this set. Because it for one,
with
look,
the Scovillain.
I mean that's why it's in this set, right? But Scorch stage one, 130 HP. That's not a bad number. For one energy, it does 130. That's very good, right? On single prize, one energy, that's well above average. It does 30 to all your bench Pokemon, which is usually a bad thing. You've got to try to make that into a good thing, right?
Yeah, I
To
feel like
make it
the
work.
Steelix having 50 more HP is like a pretty big deal. Like, and that card's not that good either. Like, and hitting a better weakness is nice. Like metal, I can't really think of what that hits for weakness. If there's anything good it hits for weakness, and fire does hit. And it's a good chunk of Pokemon for weakness. Although not Archaludon EX if it
Right.
uses the big attack or the its attack.
Right. But yeah, look, it's yeah. I mean, yeah, with the Dojo, it was kind of like I said, it's kind of a sideways upgrade. I think it's a little bit of an upgrade, but it's not a big change to it. It would allow potentially to have Magma Basin if I wanted to slap it in the deck,
Hmm.
um, or some other fire attacker. But I wasn't doing
Yeah,
that.
like Radiant.
So
What's your Radiant? Is it Radiant Charizard?
um, I don't think I have a Radiant in that deck.
No,
To be
I
honest,
feel like
Brian.
Radiant Charizard would be good. I mean, maybe at that point it's not doing enough, but like, and you can be doing more with Dojo, but I feel like it is quite good.
Well, the other thing is when we mentioned the Radiant, then obviously if you have Radiant Heatran with Scorch,
Yeah, but
that's
then
good.
you
But
need Magma Basin probably to get the energy on, right?
right, and Magma Basin will get that damage anyway.
Yeah.
So, but probably, I mean, I think Scorch is here for Scovillain, right? What?
Yeah, I guess I didn't even think about that. I think I've seen Scovillain play. I haven't seen it like in games I played, but online I've seen people talking about it with like, or seen decks with like Frostlass, which might be the best way to play it. Like,
Okay.
because Magma Basin doesn't really get enough damage on.
No, right, because it's Scovillain. It's stage one, 260 HP. It's got two energy attack is two, and it's 10 plus 70 per damage counter. So the 70 multiplier is very nice, but you need to get you want four damage, three. Usually you're gonna want four damage counters on it, or five to one shot the
Yeah. Oh
stage
wait,
two.
so Scovillain does its ability is that it's grass and fire, but what if you're hitting a metal Pokemon that's resistant to grass and hits fire weakness? How does that work? I don't remember how
Oh,
that
that's a
works.
good question. And I don't. I think I heard a rule. I'm trying to remember. I think they both apply then.
Yeah, I think
Um,
one's first. I don't remember which one's first though.
right, because usually the yeah, I'm not sure that one is odd. But it one shots Charizard EX then much more easily. Being
Mhm.
the grass type is a plus with that. Um, yeah, I mean the double typing may be helpful. I don't know, but it's a deck that I like. I want to try out. It's one of the fire decks I want to try with Scoville, and I think obviously Magma Basin, but I think you're going to want to get attack with one Centiskorch. If you can attack with one Centiskorch and then you're forced them to hit through 3 Scovillans, and
But
you're
the Scovillain
one-shotting
doesn't
every.
have that much health. Its health is already kind of low, but then once you damage it, then its health is going down pretty
It's
quickly.
it's getting one shot, correct? So you need to be up against a multi-prize deck, and you need to force them to take 7
Yeah,
prizes,
and it can't be a
and then
Dusknoir deck now then, or a
right,
Togekiss deck.
or a Dragapult deck,
Yeah,
probably.
but luckily
Yeah, no,
those cards aren't played at all.
it's look,
That
it's a
Togekiss doesn't
fun,
play that much.
it's a deck I want to try, but it does seem problematic, right? Or you can go with the Gengar, right, with the item to move damage counters around,
Um,
right? Like you play like would go in the colorless attacker, the V
oh
Star.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
The
So
yeah,
there's the
yeah, the
two,
Gengar with plus damage pump.
yeah, damage pump. So you could do that with this deck because then it's 3. Does it move 3 with damage pump?
It moves 2, but that's
2.
still like not that bad. I feel
So,
like you're still
so
probably also magma basoning.
you need to magma basin and then either have a second, you're setting up the one turn attacking, or you need to switch as well. So that's going to be part of the problem
Oh
too.
yeah.
Where the deck's going to, but once I have Latias, the switching is not a problem
Yeah,
anymore at
switching.
all.
Well, I guess. I mean, but you can't switch out the the Scovillain or like
Right. I have
Sensforge.
to,
It needs to be a basic. But I
or
think
Gengar
yeah.
EX, which is getting into play as well. So I guess
Wait, what?
well, because if I'm using Gengar, right, to
Yeah,
get
wait, did you
damage
say
on two,
EX or did I mishear?
I might have, but I no, but I not EX, just regular Gengar, to get the damage on. Right, it's a stage
Yeah.
2. That's what I was trying to say. So look, Scovillain's it's problematic, right? I'll grant you that. This is what, a C tier deck, maybe a D tier deck, depending on
Yeah, it's not like very good. I could see it being lower than that. Especially, I mean, I guess we're not talking about in post rotation at all. Obviously, post rotation will be really bad. Um,
Yeah, but I much rather work on a Scovillain deck than a Pikachu EX deck, just myself. So
yeah, I think
this is
Pikachu actually the Reggie seems funny. I haven't played it, and
yeah.
I think it's pretty bad, but I think it's funny.
No, that's pretty. It's appealing. So I do want to give that. I'll have to. I got to file that away as something to give a try at some point. So for sure. All right. So what else? What do you want to talk about? There's 2 more fighting Pokemon, fire Pokemon. I think.
Yeah, what is it? Is it Gouging Fire and wait? There's two
No,
more.
it's not. Well, sorry. One's the Centiskorch. We covered that,
Okay.
and
Oh,
that's
is
not
it the
that much.
Skeledirge?
Yeah, the Skeledirge. So let me call it up here. Look, Skeledirge, which is a single prize. It's a stage 2. This is Palkia V Star on a single prize Pokemon. Doesn't get better than that, right?
Well,
So
it's attack, and the thing that makes it good is its ability. Its attack's
well,
not bad. It gets
gets
the
it
job
set up.
done.
But it's fire type. Look, it's 2 energies. We do have Magma Basin. Post rotation, it's a problem. But right now with Magma Basin, you can power it up. So 60 plus 20 more for each bench Pokemon. You probably want a Terra Pokemon in your deck as well. I don't, as it has to be basic Terra. I don't know how that all works.
Yeah, probably you could do the
Um,
Fire Ogre fun, which isn't very good.
oh, that's right. I forgot that one existed because it's the one ogre. All the ogre pawns are good except that one. So,
Yeah.
oh wait, that one does damage. It's based on the damage on it, right?
Yeah. So is
So
this what
maybe
you're gonna be
that.
playing
Maybe I
with?
play that with Centiskorch. See, now
It
I
seems
didn't
so
think of
good.
that.
And it's
All
a
right. So
20
anyways,
times multiplier.
okay. All right. We'll skip that then. All right. So, but Skeletor, just stage 2. That's the downside, but the damage level is very good. I think with torture toe, however one says it. And then the ability unaware, prevent all effects of attacks used by your opponent's Pokemon done to this Pokemon. So it stops our Uxie decks, right? So
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Awesome.
It stops Everyone's going to be playing that after they hear this podcast. It
Yeah.
obviously stops Dragapult, right? That's the bigger thing, things like that. So any damage placer counters, and obviously if it's the like Roymoon EX, not that's not that big right now, but things like that. Look, it's a useful ability though.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. It's nice.
because
I'd
with
much
that,
rather it be on the basic than the stage 2, but Whatever.
Well, that's true. You have to get there with this, right?
Mhm.
So it's one I want to try, right? Because
Oh,
if you
and it's
can,
not the basic's not Buddy Buddy Pop and searchable, right? Pretty sure.
I think you're right on that. Let me take a look. Um, yeah, it's 80. Is there one in format that's 70? I'm not sure if there is.
No, I'm pretty sure. I think this one's the lowest, which is like not good.
No, that is a problem. So look, it's got its issues, but it's one I want to try. It probably won't be. It's one I'll try and spend a few days on, and probably won't make a video because it's not going to be good. It's probably that tier, right? A D to F tier thing, but it's the type of thing that's in my wheelhouse.
Yep.
All right, so why don't you talk about something that you think is worth talking about? Because
Well,
like
we talked.
Ceruledge isn't,
Yeah, no, I
right?
think I'm trying to think. I want to try the Koraidon, but I haven't played it. I haven't played with or against it, I don't think. Honestly, I think I talked about most of the ones I played. Um, do you
Okay.
have others? I think then we need to talk about the spread deck. That's the last one, and we both want to talk about that. Is it
Okay, I have
tied?
a couple things. We got a few minutes, I think, before that. So look, first, there's a bunch of things that can go in Snorlax. We don't
Mhm.
want to talk about that now, I don't think, right?
No, I mean, we could. What are they? We don't need to talk about them too
Well,
much,
just
but
briefly, there's Meowstick, right? That lets you extra gusting is really good,
yeah,
and
I
if
guess
you
I feel like you have a lot of gusting though already.
it's a
Like,
lot of deck space, but also if plus four chill teaser toys, right? It lets you get rid of an energy on your first turn going second. It's a thought, is what I'll say.
yeah, it's not completely
Um,
terrible. I think
there's my
like
load.
you don't always play for counter catcher in Snorlax though.
Yeah, yeah. Look, it's probably too much deck space because it's a stage. It probably doesn't happen, but I think the Milotic EX, right, that could go in Snorlax, right, because you have a bunch of walling options. So maybe a 1/1 line of Milotic EX that I think is worth giving a try. Um, and there are obviously Milo could be other things as well. There is the Gastrodom. Is that what it is? I mean,
Yeah, that one's good. I think I don't know. I haven't played with it. Like it's kind of good. It's not necessarily great against Duststorm Pidgeot EX because they could be in the actives when they use their ability and not really have any downside to that. But still,
right.
it's good.
Well, if you're playing Snorlax, right, as long as they if they have the Pidgeot EX, that lets them get out of Snorlax every turn to a certain extent. So now you can stop that, right? It's a thought again.
Yeah, and I guess
It's an evolution,
then they can't go into the active and retreat either.
right? So it's yeah. So it has value. There is Lively Stadium. Maybe that goes in.
Uh,
It gives you plus 30 HP on your basic Pokemon.
yeah. Oh,
So
Gravity Mountain. Speaking of Pikachu EX, Gravity Mountain
yeah,
is kind of good there because you do 300, which isn't enough to one shot stage 2 EXs, so you can do that, which is kind of cool.
yeah. That's a card that has interest. And then the other one is I think the Megaton Blower maybe goes in a control or Snorlax deck. If
Yeah, I
you're
think
one of the things because Lugia is a problem with it, and then you play this and you play the supporter that you flip 2 coins, right? To
yeah.
recover.
I mean, I think just playing it once, you probably win. Maybe not, but you're in a very good position.
Yeah. So it's your A spec, but maybe that I think this is an A spec that certainly if there's enough special energy around, the Megaton Blower is a consideration. So those are my Snorlax thoughts, or and in control decks in general, right? Some of those, and there's some other control things as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's the
Um,
Dedenne, there's the Rotom, there's I don't know, there's a lot of cards.
okay, so a couple other cards to uh, yeah. I mean, look, there's Brilliant Blender with United Wings. Gotta give shout out United Wings, right?
Yep.
You don't want to do that.
I
So
mean, it's
anyway,
not very
that
good, right? Like it's okay. There would be
no.
some potential with the new ace spec.
It fits my philosophy of you get one or two new cards and put it in an old deck, right? So this
Yeah.
should make United Wings a little better. It
Yeah.
still won't be good enough, right?
Yeah.
So all right, two decks. One is well, okay. Now this is the only last thing to mention is the Annihilate deck. So you know
Like
what the
with
Annihilate does?
the new one.
Yes, the new Annihilate.
Yeah. Well,
This
yeah,
this
it's not
is
very good.
I'll come
Though
the
there's the
second
old
attack.
Annihilate's better. It can do 350 for one energy.
This I want to use the second attack. The
But
second
you
attack.
die.
Exactly. It's just so great. But come on, you're up against a multi-prized in EX deck, and you just knock yourself out every turn. You knock them out every turn.
No, but if there are
Like
two
it's
prize deck, it's still an even prize trade.
well, look. I just look. It's one. I just gotta try it. It's just too stupid. not to. And you do have the Gutsy Pickaxe to help hopefully get the energies in play because it's a stage
I mean, you
2.
could
It's
probably
a 2
reversal
energy
energy every
attack
turn anyways.
because I'm going to be losing up
Yeah,
until
because you're dying. You're
the end of the
dying
game.
every turn. You're dying
It is,
twice
but
every turn. You're dying on your turn, and you're dying on your opponent's turn.
and there. Yeah, well, it's a kind of a hit and run deck, right? So I
I
instead of
guess.
Mimikyu or something. I don't know. Look, I just gotta try this one. I just because it's just too stupid not to try, isn't it? You don't agree?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think the single prize Annihilate is really good. I haven't really played it much, but it does 70 for each prize card your opponent's taken. The not
Yeah,
the new one, but that's like a lot, right? That's it. It's not broken, but it's pretty good. And then
right.
there's also the um what is it? Then there's the Annihilate BX, which is solid. It's like a solid attacker. Not too much to say about it, but it's pretty good.
All right, I'm just saying, Annihilate. If you're looking for a stupid meme deck for a video, I think this is it. This has it. This is it written all over it, isn't it?
I guess so. And then yeah, so that's a card.
All right, so now you want to talk about the spread deck, right?
Yeah, the spread deck. I feel like I have a deep history with this deck, which is kind of weird because it just came out. But so I played that deck, which I got you to play as well, right? The one that
Yeah,
was I think it was Ditto Box, but it only like played a few Dittos, and the Dittos might have
right.
gotten cut eventually. But I don't even remember what was in it exactly. I remember you had some spread attackers, which were like kind of mediocre. Uxie is better than the spread attackers, and then you had the Mimikyu
Yeah,
with worst gift, which is still in standard, by the way. And it literally
right.
is just it's almost the same, but what it does is that it lets you do 10 and 10 more for each damage counter your opponent has in play already. So if you've done Uxie and they have, let's say, 5 bench Pokemon, and you do that twice, then all of a sudden your Azelf's hitting 110 damage, which is
Right.
a bunch. And it's not just that, but they already have damage counters on them. So it's taking essentially these like one shots or like pseudo one shots, and it's pretty strong.
Yeah, look, I mean, I started and I'm playing it. I do have Ditto in the deck partly because it gives flexibility between the Uxie and the Azelf, and but I can power up the Ditto, right? Especially because Azelf needs 2 energy. I wasn't playing the new tool, which I like that idea, so I might put that in.
Yeah.
I also put in 2 Mimikyu. I think your original deck played 1. At this point, Mimikyu when new sets come
Wait,
out,
which
while
Mimikyu?
the safeguard Mimikyu, sorry.
Okay.
Just because honestly, probably a third of my games when I was playing this deck, I just Mimikyu spam and it was game over.
Yeah, I think
Especially
yeah, I should
especially
probably
when a
add
new
that in.
set comes out.
The
With a new
list
set, go on.
so the list I copied played it played 4 Mesprit, and I've like chopped that down. It played 2 Uxie, and I've chopped it down to a 3-3-3. But I think I'm gonna cut most, if not all, the Mesprits. I need to make some changes to this deck, but I think it like Mesprit has some value. It does 160 for 2 if you have both the Azelf and the Uxie on your bench, which is like solid. Especially because like Azelf isn't always hitting that much, but
Yeah.
not in the early game. But I don't know. It's not great either.
And then I'm considering putting in what was the one I mentioned. So the Kofagrigus, which I don't have on my build, but the new Kofagrigus, it's a stage 1. But you for 1 energy, you put 6 damage counters each of your on each Pokemon that has an ability, yours and your opponent. So you got to be careful about
Yeah, I
it
feel
there.
like
But
Ditto is really sketchy then.
because yeah, you're 1 away from knocking it out. So maybe it doesn't go in the deck. I'm playing Zatu for the engine. I don't know what your
Yeah, this is also how
deck's
many
playing.
Zatus?
I'm playing a 3/3
Yeah, I'm
build
playing a
line
2-2. I feel like you don't really need Zatu that much. Like, what do you need it for? Like, you don't really need it from Mimikyu. It's not bad,
for
but it's
for
not necessary. It's for the
for
Azelf.
Zelf.
But you'd only need
Zelf, yeah.
one Zadu in play really ever.
Yeah, and then I'm playing Radiant Alakazam. I don't know if you're playing that in the deck.
Yeah, I am. And it does play Rabsca. Do you play Manphy or do you
I'm
play Jirachi? Or are you just like you're in your mindset of don't play
I'm just
that?
rolling. I'm rolling. Hey, I'm playing live. It's just you get what you get, right? That's the way I
Mhm.
look at it. And well, Manaphy's not bad. The other thing is like I mean I could put in Manaphy, um, but you want to go second with this deck. I decided, even though I'm playing 3 Zatus, because Uxieing turn 1 or Uxie is really good. Just getting the damage going. I'm playing 12 energies on the high side because of the
12.
Zatus.
Yeah, that's
12,
true, I
yeah.
guess. I keep getting like Zadu, and then I keep not being able to draw any cards because I don't have any energies. And it's like, oh, I got all the energies I need in play, but yeah.
Right. So I have 16 Pokemon, 12 energy, 32 trainers. So that's kind of if I want to rely on Zatu, you need to go high on the energies. I'm playing a couple tulips in the deck. I'm
Yeah.
playing 4 research, 4 Iono, 3 boss.
I think I might want to go
Um,
Frostlass in the deck. That could be interesting.
mhm. Oh, so what's your ace spec in the deck? I think I'm using the wrong ace spec, but
I don't.
it's
Oh, it's
worth some.
neutralization zone. I told you
Oh,
I
that's what
copied
I'm
this.
doing too. That's what I
But I've
did.
never
That's what I
found. I
put in.
think neutralization zone. Like I've essentially never ever gotten any value out of neutralization zone. Um, in any deck, I played in a good chunk of decks, and it seems like I never like they just always instantly bump it, and then they play like, and then like they bump it, and they also have like a lost vacuum, and then like another stadium. Like it's
Yeah.
not like oh I'm almost ran out of stadiums. It's like not close. So
No, and I'm playing 2 artisans and 1 neutralization zone. So hopefully you're bumping a couple stadiums before you get it to play. But it's a 4 research deck too, so there's a decent chance you're going to have to play it early. So I don't know what ace spec I should play. I was figuring you were going to yell at me for playing it in the
oh I think
deck.
it's bad. Yeah, but I think this list I copied is bad to be honest. But
Yeah, look, I was winning like 75% of the time, I think, with the deck though.
yeah, I think I
Um,
need some. My like there's a lot of stuff. I think Arven's really good. You can play Team Devolution, you can play Team Evolution. Team
mhm,
Evolution is kind of mediocre. It's good for Rapska, um, but I don't know if
yeah.
it's worth it. But I might put in Iridas as well for
Okay.
if I play the Frostlass.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not playing TM Devolution. I think I that should go in the deck. If you don't have Mimikyu, you should put Mimikyu in, I think, especially right now.
Yeah,
It's just
without
good.
Frostlass. Or you're saying
Yes.
yeah,
Well, and you're not playing Ditto, right? So if you're playing
no,
Ditto and Mimikyu, you don't play Frostlass.
yeah.
Um, I guess the question is, if you put the Frostlass in, then do you want the Kofagrigus?
No. Well, because then
Okay.
you're
I
gonna
mean, you're
kill your Frostlass with your Koharugas.
no, I know that is a problem.
I
So,
mean, there's
but you're
value there, but
right. You're
it
putting
comes
a lot of
closer.
pressure on with it, but so I'm not sure what
Yeah.
the
Would you ever
60
play a
is.
Mesprit? I think one Mesprit might be worthwhile, but I don't know. I might actually cut the Zadus as well. Um, yeah.
Cut the Zatu's complete. And then, are you not going to have an engine then? Are you going to do something else
Yeah,
for
it's
an
just
engine?
gonna be like Uxie and just play Cleffa this list. I don't know if that's particularly good, but I think it would mostly just be Uxie and a Zelf and as well as the Frostlasses, and that's about it.
Okay. If I think if I were to put the spirit in the deck, I definitely want Ditto because I would probably just want to have one Miss Spirit, and it's like a maybe one, which means you discard it early and you Ditto it as an option, right?
Yeah.
Because ideally you want to have like a lot of choices for your Ditto. So dropping the Zatu line would be nice. I think it needs some engine though. I gotta say,
Yeah.
maybe I
I don't know what
go
you
with
do with Engine if you're playing Frostlass, because then um
right because I'm thinking I might put up a barrel engine in if I drop Zatu, but obviously that's not good with Frostlass either.
yeah.
Um, you can't. I mean, I think you have to go with like a Pokegear 3.0 and maybe Pokestop if you're going with Frostlass because you can't have abilities then.
Hmm.
And even your Radiant Alakazam, I guess that's tanky enough to work.
No, I think I'd cut it then.
Have no ability except for Frostlass.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could try something like that. Yeah. So I'll maybe so the Frostlass and we have the Annihilate, maybe Frostlass Annihilate deck. So because I
Mhm.
need to get some extra damage going, right? I'm trying to think this through.
Wait, with what Annihilate?
Well, the Annihilate that knocks itself out and your opponent's Pokemon, right? And I promote something else to the active.
Wait, so why do you need
So
extra damage?
well, because I need to try to take another prize or two somehow, or they're going to lose the game. You seem to
Yeah.
indicate that Annihilate, the new Annihilate, wasn't the end all and be all.
I think it
All
does
right,
end all, but
it
I don't
does.
think it.
The Zatu look the Uxie is very good, right? I think this is a very I think it's pretty solid. It's a
Yeah.
matter of figuring out what goes around the
It
deck.
dropped from
So
very good to pretty solid quite
this is all
fast.
right. It's not S tier. This. I think this could legitimately be a B tier Pokemon. Do you think?
Yeah, I think it could definitely. I think it's there now. I think it's pretty good. Like, I think it's like better noticeably than Yveltal and Spinda. It does
Hmm.
its attacks objectively better. It isn't objectively better than Spinda, but it really is. The confusion isn't worth that much compared to doubling your damage.
Right.
That's really good. But then it's Buddy Buddy Puff and Searchable. Also, Wonder Retreat's nice as well. I don't remember what the retreat is on Yveltal. Doesn't matter that much, but it is nice. But the being Buddy Buddy Puff and Searchable is so nice.
Right. Look, so if an attacker like this can be B tier, like a legitimate B tier, it's pretty good. It's not common for a Pokemon like this to potentially get a B tier deck out of it, is what I'd say. So I think it's worth some work to try and get this guy going.
Yeah, definitely. It's probably it's one of my favorite cards from this, as well as the Azelf. The Azelf is really fun as well.
Yes, it is. It is. Obviously, the second energy, you just gotta, but you're playing the tool. So maybe
Yeah,
put the
counting in's
tool
like
in.
solid, definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I see that. I hadn't thought about that. So that's a good idea. So we'll have to kind of revisit this deck. I don't know in the podcast, but at least each of us, I think we'll both are going to be working on it. And we'll have to see where we're at with it, at least off the podcast line. Anyway. So,
Yeah, but
um,
anyways, I think that's it for Surging Sparks. We reviewed all the cards. We did not review. We reviewed some of the cards from Surging Sparks, and it's a pretty cool set so far. But there's a lot of stuff to explore still as well.
Yeah, no, I think it's brought some good stuff to the game. It's brought more choices. I don't think it has something that's gonna dominate everything else, which is a good thing if that's not the case, right? We don't need another like Charizard EX. Cards like that aren't good for diversity. So, yeah, it's a good set. Enjoying the early days with it, and it's just gonna hopefully get better as we explore it more. So, anyway, hopefully, like, subscribe, all that. Let us know, comment in our YouTube channels because we will see them and respond there. And, take care and play Pokemon.
Yep. Is that it?
And I think that's
I
it. Yes,
usually do the
that
outros.
wasn't
I don't
really
know what
great.
happened there.
Sorry.
But yeah,
I
we hope you
know.
enjoyed. We're excited to see you in the next episode.
All right. Bye.